Are you looking to kickstart your understanding of sequences and send your first one out today? Well, in this video, I'm going to train you how to do just that. Let's dive in.
Welcome to HubSpot Hacks, where we help you get more out of HubSpot.
HubSpot sequences are one of those really powerful tools, but they're only available in Sales Pro and Sales Enterprise. Now, if you have a legacy version of Sales Starter, you might actually get them as well, but now you'll find them in those two higher level versions. They're actually built on templates, and then they're going to be built on activities. So if you're confused on sequences versus workflows, we have a video about that, but for now, we're just going to talk about the automation of these outbound activities to contacts one-to-one using the sequences tool. Let's dive in. All right, here in our automation tab is where you're going to find sequences. And if this does not appear for you, it might be due to one of two things. Like I just mentioned, you might not have HubSpot Sales Pro or Sales Enterprise, or you do and you haven't been granted a seat on it. So it's possible that your organization has this, but it's assigned all of its user seats. You might not have access to that. If that's the case, again, you might want to talk to your admin about it. But if you do have it, it's going to be found here under the automation tab. So I'm going to click on sequences, and it's going to bring up the first tab we see here is managing any current sequences. There's going to be an analysis of any sequences that you are running, and then we can see what is scheduled. Now, if you look over here at the top right, you get 5,000 sequences. I'm on the Sales Pro version right now, and then you can create your sequence, or you can actually pause or resume all your sequences if they happen to be running. Sequences are built on templates, so we're going to go over to conversations and look at templates over there. So for the purposes of this demo, I actually loaded 3 templates in already. So if we look for sequence demo, you'll find that we've got, let's see here. Sequence demo. Okay, so we've got 3 templates loaded, and these templates are built from the template library here in HubSpot. So if you happen to be needing just some kickstarting ideas to get things going, you can actually start in the template library, and there's some things you can choose from here. Now, if you happen to have a sales team that's already got somewhat of a language to use, or the marketing team gave you language, again, you might find that there's going to be templates for you available, or you could build your own. We'll see how these come together in sequences here in a second. So I'm just gonna say we've got this inbound lead from content. The use case I'm gonna show you here today is when someone downloads let's say an ebook from our website, this is gonna be the sequence that I'm going to use to follow up with them. So I've got my 3 templates here, and I am ready to go. Now we're gonna go back to the sequences area, and here's where I'm gonna build my first sequence. So same thing like the templates, you can build it from scratch, or you can use a pre-made sequence here on the left-hand side. So in this case, we've got a pre-made sequence would be that, let's see, a recent conversion. So if I click on this, it will show me here that I can use this particular sequence as a starter place. So again, if you are new to sequences, this might be a great place to start and just kind of get your feet wet. But again, I already made those templates, so we're gonna start from scratch. Now I'm gonna click on create sequence, and here we go. So first thing I'm gonna do is make sure you name this appropriately, because there's a lot of stuff in here, and if you can have up to 5,000 sequences, it can get messy really fast. So we're gonna go sequence demo here and version 1, perfect. Now at the top, it's gonna keep me informed of how many steps I have, and then how many days this whole sequence, or like I would like to say, this whole cadence of activities is scheduled to take place. So this orange plus button will show me on the right-hand side what I have to choose from in building these outbound cadence of activities. So we've got automated emails, and then it's just like what it sounds. It's using those templates we just created and automatically sending them out to the enrolled contact on a specific day with certain criteria. An email would be creating a task for myself to send another email, but this would be outside of the platform. So let's say I want to send an email 3 days later that I just, share a resource that's relevant to them. That would be just a task for me. A task to call them, or scheduling, it's a call task here in HubSpot, and then a to-do. So a to-do might be, go find out what college they went to and send them a note about that, for instance. And then Sales Navigator, I have this integrated here in my HubSpot instance. If you want to learn how to do that, we've got a video, but this I can send in mail directly inside of HubSpot, or I can send a connection request right inside of HubSpot as well. So to start this sequence, I'm going to say they just downloaded an ebook from our website. So we're going to use this sequence demo that I just put together. There we go. Inbound lead from content. Okay. So here's where the beauty of templates come together, because we've got all of this just automatically loaded. But I can also now, if I wanted to customize this sequence, not for this person, we're not there yet, But just for this sequence, I can actually just edit this template here. So I definitely do not want to send out an email that says insert tip here. Let's not show people that we're using the template quite that prevalently. But if I click on this here at the top, I can click on edits. So right now, if I click on update existing template, it will overwrite this one, or I can save as new. And in this case, I'm going to save as new because I'm going to replace those sections that have text. So let's do that real quick. So they downloaded the 10 things to know before you buy HubSpot. Did you download the piece to learn more about getting started on the platform, or a cost-effective solution to your sales and marketing tech? Actually did some research on, and here, this company token, again, this was built using a template from HubSpot, so this might be an outdated one in their library, because now I do have a company name token I can insert here, but just to be safe, sometimes that company name token doesn't get copied over. There's a whole different reason for that. I won't go into that in this video, but company name and associated company are two different things in HubSpot, so you might find that it's blank. So instead, what I'm gonna do here is I did some research on your company and have the following tips. Let's just say, make sure you have all stakeholders in the early demo meetings. Let's see, what else is in this ebook? Know what integrations you need before getting started. And then let's say, have a budget in mind, but don't forget the implementation and training. Perfect. Okay, and then have you thought of doing this? I'm gonna add, let me know how I can help. Okay, from a sequence perspective and writing emails, this probably isn't like the best email that I could have written here, but we're gonna go with it just for the example. Now, you'll notice that I don't have a signature, because when you write emails using templates, and then when you use a sequence, it uses your signature inside of HubSpot and automatically does that. Or you can send it through your Gmail inbox and then your signature is already there. So I'll show you that once we enroll somebody. Now I can update this existing template, which I don't want to do. I'm going to click save as new template. We're going to say sequence demo inbound lead from content, and we're going to say 10 things, because that's the name of the content guide. And we're going to click on save. Okay, so that was a little laborious, but you can see how this works now. So we've got this automated email, and this is going to go out immediately right after they enroll. Now, I'm going to click on the plus sign and say, okay, we got this email that went out. I'm going to send a connection request, and we're going to do it right now. It's in 1 business day. So they get this email from me, and then I'll send a connection request. Then I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and give them a call. So contact, follow up on the guide. Okay, and add. Now keep in mind, as I'm building this here, this isn't a best practice. If someone did download content from your website, unless it's a high intent buy-in guide, you probably don't want to barrage them with calls. But again, take this with a grain of salt. We're not talking strategy here. We're talking about using the tool. Now, let's say step 4, I'm going to send another automated email, and I'm going to say the follow-up email after this follows through. So, we went ahead and called them here, and let's say we left a voicemail. So we're going to say, sorry, I missed you on the phone. And then just like we edited that other template, I could actually go here and edit this one because we've got some of these date and time fillers. I'm going to show you how to just insert a meeting link, because that's a primary thing, and you'll learn why in a second. You can always reach me at this number or book a meeting on my calendar, and we can chat. Okay, again, sales methodology, not strong here, but we'll show you the functionality. Book a meeting on the calendar. So we're going to insert a meeting link, and that's where this meeting link would be. So what I just showed you, I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to copy that language because otherwise it's going to get overwritten. And then we're going to insert the meeting link. I've got just a general link that I'm showing you here. Whoops. Book a call with me. Insert. And we can chat. Okay, so you can see that this is now a hyperlink. If you want hyperlinks to track in your sequences, you do want to make sure and insert them here. Do not paste a hyperlink in, or you miss that tracking piece. Found that out the hard way. So I'm going to click on save as new template. Again, same thing here. We're going to say follows through. Again, 10 things, and I'm going to click on save. So again, we've got some stuff that we need to work out there, but that's kind of how to put that in. So at this point, if we go up to the top, you can see we've got 4 steps, and this is going to take 3 business days to complete. Now, this is strategy-wise. Tip here, you typically want to space these things out. So I don't want a ton of activity happening in 3 days. It might not even be that the person's going to be around for 3 days to notice all this activity. So we're going to have 1 here. We're going to send a connection request in, let's say, 3 days. We're going to call them in 3 days after that. And then this one, we're going to send 2 days after that, or 2 days after that. Perfect. Okay, so we've got all this activity that's happening here. Now total, it's going to take place over 8 days. And every time I put a number in, it's how many days after that last task. Now, I can choose to have the sequence continue without completing these tasks, because these are going to register as tasks in your task queue. But if I can just say, you know what, if I didn't send them a LinkedIn request, it's fine. Have the sequence keep going. If you do that, you can check this box. And if you don't send a connection request, or you, again, just forget to or don't get to that task, they'll still get an automated email on that, whatever day that would be, like day 6, okay? So you can see how to add those things in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and add one more for example purposes. We're going to create a to-do, and we're going to say send cookies. Okay, I'd like to, if you want to reach me in an outbound way, send me some cookies, okay? So that's going to be, again, another task you can put in here. So now let's go to the settings, because these are going to be super important. So when you send a sequence, on the first time you send the sequence, all of this is going to be the default. So you do want to talk about this with your sales organization, have some philosophy around this. Do I want to send them out on business days only? Again, you can toggle that on and off. Do I want to thread the replies to the emails? So if you don't thread them, each one of those subjects that we just saw here, so subject is, did it help? Subject of, this one is, the subject line will match the first email. So this one's going to show up as RE: did it help? So again, it's following up. If I uncheck that box and we go back to this screen, you'll see that the sequence is, the subject line is, sorry I missed you. So this is that when you toggle that off and on, that's where your subject lines kind of get overwritten. This is your sending window, and that is based on your HubSpot time zone settings. So make sure that's right. And then if you want to get an email reminder for tasks, I do like these unless you're enrolling hundreds of people in sequences, and then you're going to have hundreds of emails that say, don't forget to email this person. So again, depending on how many people are in your sequences, toggle this on and off with a little bit of risk. And then automation would be if you happen to have anybody in this sequence to unroll them. So let's say, for example, that I enroll contacts that I have met at a conference in a sequence. I want them to get a follow-up, nice to meet you, LinkedIn connection request, send them a resource, ask them to subscribe to our newsletter, again, so on and so forth. But let's say that I have a really strong conversation going and that person happens to text me. Well, they're still going to get these automated emails from me, but now I just got this text message. So I don't want them to get that. Well, there's a couple ways they get unenrolled here, but we can also then create additional ways for them to be unenrolled. So by default, someone gets unenrolled, or they will stop getting emails automatically in the sequence when they reply to the email. Anytime that they hit the scheduling page or complete the scheduling page, and then all contacts from the company are in this sequence. So we will visit this here in just a second. Let's see. Oh, okay. If anybody replies, you would unenroll everybody. So that means, like, if you emailed me and let's say 3 of my coworkers about some new amazing MarTech that you wanted us to check out, if I said no, get lost, then you probably don't want to barrage the rest of my coworkers, or maybe you do. So this little toggle is going to make that possible. So let's see, we've got our settings, we've got email reminders, we've got our steps, and then these are going to be the cases that unenrolls somebody. We're going to click on save. Perfect. All right. So now we've got the email performance. So these are the things that are going to be tracked. So if you're a data person and you're looking for, like, how many opens are my emails getting with certain subject lines, this is going to be how to test that on this one-to-one basis using sequences. So right now we've got, again, no enrollments, but if you want to enroll someone into a sequence, so we've now got this built and we need to enroll people. So there's a couple ways you can do enrollment. One's going to be, I can go to this page and look at enrollments. Actually, this stays the same, but I can just click on enroll contacts here. So I can look for a contact that I might want to enroll. And it looks like that isn't in there. We'll try a different email, and that person is in there. Okay. So if I wanted to enroll Allie in this sequence, you'll see that when it comes up, it's going to show me all the things that are going to go out to her or be scheduled for her as a task. So this is a big thing because I know sometimes when that screen comes up and you type in someone and you hit next, it's like, oh, it's going to send it to them. Not without your permission, not without you looking through it. So if we look at this now, we can actually still add one more sentence of customization here if we want to. So it might be, did you find it useful? I noticed your company uses ActiveCampaign. It's a common question we see come up a lot. Okay, so I could have added that just for Allie, and this email then, again, is good to go. You'll see that it loaded my signature inside of HubSpot down here at the bottom. This looks a bit wonky because I've got too much spacing, so here I'm gonna adjust that spacing just so it looks okay. Now you'll see that I have got this connection request. This is inside of HubSpot. I've got a call that I need to follow up on. I've got an automated email, another one that's gonna send. Looks like, oh, I've got a typo here. I'm gonna change that. And then I've got a to-do here down at the bottom of sending cookies. So if I start the sequence, what's going to happen is it's gonna start, and then you'll be able to see enrollments here. So we're gonna uncheck this, and you'll see that Allie Schwanke, VP of Sales, is actually enrolled in this, and the status is it is scheduled. So if I click on Allie's record, when we go to this in HubSpot in the activity feed, you'll be able to see that Allie was delivered this first email. So this is actually what it looked like, and we'll be able to see if Allie opens this email. So give me a second here, let's actually do this while we're together. Now I just opened this email on my phone, so actually you can see that it came through. It looks just like an email that I would get from a person one-to-one. Doesn't look like a marketing email with all of the, brilliant stars and bells and whistles. And now if I refresh this page, it should show that, oh, you know what? This is actually a really good thing to show. So because of the Apple privacy issues, it actually doesn't show that I opened the email. So one of the things that you want to keep in mind with your sequences, and this is kind of a toss-up, is when you have a link in your emails, that does show engagement. So we can look at that. But because of some of the privacy blocking, now it shows that it was sent, but sometimes you can't tell if it was opened. So again, just a little bit of insight into how this is going to affect you internally, but you'll see that I was delivered this email. And if I reply to this email, so I'm going to actually reply in just a second, but on the left-hand side, again, you'll see that I'm enrolled in a sequence. And so if you happen to have contacts in your CRM and you see this in the left-hand side, you don't want to be sending one-to-one emails off of the sequence. Otherwise it ends up looking like they're hearing from this person and then this person and they're getting automated. It's just not a good experience. So I'm going to reply to this email here and say yes. We're just going to say yes. Really big talker. Now, if I use this little caret, it'll show me all of the things that are happening. So this is upcoming. It looks like later this week, this is happening. So this again is just really good visibility across the platform in all the things that are happening all in one spot. Now we're going to go ahead and refresh this. And all right, so now we've got Allie replied. And because I replied to that email, I've been unenrolled from that sequence demo. Awesome. Oh my gosh. So this is amazing because we've got all this information in the activity feed. Now, if we go back to our HubSpot sequences and we refresh and we want to go to performance, we'll actually see that we had one enrollment. We had one reply rate. So wow, this campaign is doing great. But here we've got one step and then we can actually see that there was one send and one reply. So this is really helpful when you have lots of people in HubSpot that you're sending these sequences to, but you want to see how this aggregate over time actually works. Now, the last piece, if we go back to all sequences, I've got all these sequences in here and I can actually analyze across all of our sequences how this has gone. But in this case, we were just looking for that one sequence. And if I search for it again here, it's going to be right there. And then again, we've got those stats. Now, if you want to enroll someone, this is kind of a last tip and trick. If you want to enroll someone in a sequence in your inbox in Gmail or Outlook, that's possible too. So I often use this as let's say I've met someone at an event and we've had a good conversation, but there's not a whole lot more there at the moment. I really want to build that relationship over time, and I love the chance to get a meeting with that person just to get acquainted. I'm not selling, I'm just looking to get acquainted. So I might actually then go to my Gmail, and if I type in an email address here, it gives me the chance. All this is synced with my Gmail inbox if you haven't done that, but I can search on sequences right here, and I can say I want to use the sequence demo down here, and just like that interface inside of HubSpot, I've got that right here. Now this is going to make it hard because this Allie Plus test is not actually in HubSpot. So it's gonna give me a flag on all the things that are missing. So don't send this or it's gonna come across as contact first name. So I do wanna make sure they're in HubSpot first, which if I wanted to do that, I actually have over here on the right-hand side, you'll see that I've got a HubSpot icon. I could add them right in my Gmail and then go ahead and do this as well. But for purposes of demonstration, if someone's already in HubSpot, we're just gonna add this, and then I can go ahead and enroll them in that sequence that we just showed you, and it looks just like it did inside of HubSpot. Same sort of thing. And then last little tip here, I can also choose to send this later. So I don't have to enroll them right away. I can enroll them later, and here I can set that here on my, my HubSpot dashboard. So that is it. That's how to send sequences. That's how to get it set up. That's all the training you would need to start testing and using it. Now, in a future video, I'm gonna show you how to mass enroll people inside of HubSpot into sequences using Enterprise, but right now you do need to enroll people inside of HubSpot Sales Pro in order for it to work. You can enroll multiple people at a time, so real quick, I'll show you what that looks like. So I can actually enroll everybody here in this contact screen if I just click on this box and select everybody in the screen, and I can click Enroll in Sequence, select what sequence I want, and then it will show you we're getting ready to enroll all of these people in. So it'll show you we're getting ready to enroll all of these people in that sequence, and we'll go through this one by one just to make sure that they're all ready to go, or I can choose to enroll 23 of 25 contacts. There must be an issue with one of them that I have to figure out first. So again, easy peasy, makes it really simple, and you can get started today. For more tips, tricks, and how-tos, hit that subscribe button and let me know how that first sequence went or how you're liking the tool. Let me know if there's future sequence tips I can lend your way, and we'll see you next week.